podcast. Xtra is hosted by Kyle and Ajay. Each week, they discuss Nigeria's current events and latest news. Thanks for joining and for being a part of this conversation. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, and share. Keep the conversation going as we give you something extra. News you can use. Xtra is an Icon production.
Hey, hey, hey.
Yo.
It's another week, man.
Another week. Same old, unfortunately, right?
To hear about Nigeria news, right?
Yeah.
Nigeria. Such an amazing country with amazing people. But is it all coming together,
All coming together. AJ, you don't know your own history? Things are falling apart. They're not coming together.
Hey.
Anyway, so yeah, welcome. It's April, almost the end of April, almost May, and we're getting into primary season.
Primary season.
Politicians are going to start going around saying, "I'm going to bring change to Nigeria." No,
that's
I
right.
don't think you are.
Everyone has a solution to how to curb whatever is going on right now, and this is where all of the smart people start to really bring up their ideas.
Is that what you call them? Smart? AJ,
well,
give people
I mean,
too much credit.
Hey, but they're going to say that they're smart ideas, so I believe that since they're coming from smart people, they might as well be smart ideas.
Well, I had a friend named Alec, and he was smart. We call him Smart Alec.
That's right.
Oh my goodness, yeah,
man. So how was your week? How was everything with just the hustle and
it just keeps coming back that everything we do, you feel like you've made some progress, whether it's talking to people, raising the issue, raising awareness, being a voice, reporting something, and it almost feels like it's always falling on deaf ears. I think that's the trouble. It's the loudest gong or the loudest whatever voice gets heard, or the squeaky wheel gets the grease. I don't know. Yeah. Take your pick which analogy you want to use, but
yeah. I have been trying to have more conversations with people about Nigeria and just a lot of things that are just happening within the world, just to kind of test the waters to see how conversations like that are going to go. And some people are actually willing to listen, willing to go further down into the rabbit hole and try to understand the issues, while some are, they're still just on the fence on whether they actually want to take a step further or just hang out where they are at. So it is a walk, and I would really say that it's really challenging. How is it that one can really start to understand what is happening in Nigeria and really piece together all of the wild pieces,
Yeah. No, I mean, it's not even wild pieces. It's not even it's not even just a thing that just happens. It's the whole process of, okay, here's what we're seeing, here's what we're hearing. We can't discount what's going on in the grassroots, what's going on in the local communities. But at the same time, someone saying, well, it's getting better. We're improving in this. Well, the people on the ground aren't feeling it. The people at the grassroots don't understand that something's changing, or something's been addressed. But it really, I don't know. I think there's a lot of smoke and mirrors. You can tell people one thing, and the actual fact on the ground is something completely different.
Yeah. Well, before we get started, we just want you all to know this is the Icon Podcast, Extra News You Can Use. And basically what we do here is Kyle and I just try to find articles from the week, news on Nigeria that we just kind of discuss. And we just like to question each other, over the articles that we're reading and the information that we're getting, and trying to show some of the interesting ones that we have probably found, and also some of the interesting articles that we would like to share with you. Please feel free again to interact with us on Twitter and on YouTube. We are streaming there also. Tag us, write us, send us articles and stuff that we can kind of look at and you want us to discuss, and we will put them up here for our program. We do have a couple of interesting tweets that we got this week that we would like to share with you also. But just continue to watch. Thank you.
Yeah, let's jump into it. The Sun, Voice of the Nation, came out with the sort of, I don't know what to call it, expository piece, or just a sheer sheer fear of people, mounting fears for 2023 election.
Yeah. Here,
And,
yep.
And we got the whole scramble for party tickets. You know, the PDP continues to speak one thing, say one thing, do another thing. APC's doing one thing, saying. I mean, they all had their sort of posturing of who's going to be the candidate for APC. Is it going to be Bello? Is it going to be who? What's his name? Gandhi down in Lagos. Tunabu?
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to be someone else? You know, PDP scrambling. Are we going to get this or that? So I think everyone's kind of confused and who's doing what. But the thing is that people are saying you can scramble all you want for your candidate.
Yeah,
shouldn't be an election. There's no way we can have election with this insecurity going on. So
yeah, and there is just so much fear about even how is it how authentic will the vote actually be with all of the insecurity. People aren't really safe in their communities, so how are they going to conduct a safe and fair election where, you know, if people aren't protected, how are the ballots going to be protected as they're moving from one village to where it's going to be counted, and
yeah, I
all
mean,
that kind of
but
stuff.
that's I mean, that's the whole. I mean, that's always been around. The whole, you know, under the cover of midnight or darkness, these ballot boxes are supposed to be going from this local government back to the capital, and all. Oh, pickup truck comes along, and there would the ballot box go. I mean, those have always been a cause for concern, but I think this year's is worse because, yeah, who's even gonna, you know, are the people going to the elections? Are they going to be shot up? Right? Are they
Yeah.
going to be killed as they go to express their vote? You know?
So even in this article, is it the INEC? Somebody was attacked. Oh man, such a long article. I'm trying to find the spot, but I think one of the officials was
Yeah, he's a
attacked
INEC
in
registration. He's down in Imo State. Yeah,
Imo State.
yeah,
You know, so and people are already raising some of the fears on, you know, what is going to happen. You know, this is a official, and the elections are just close around the corner, and you know, and now this is happening. So
yeah. I mean, this is. I mean, yeah, that's one job you don't want. I mean, some people love it because you get guaranteed cash from the government or money. It's an income, but you know, what they give statistics since 2011. Almost 1,150 people have died.
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
you know, not only do you risk your life, but you also risk your reputation. I mean, INEC is it's not your gold standard as far as election bodies goes. So I think it's rife with corruption as well. You know, it's not very easy to run a straight above board campaign.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's interesting that the religious leaders, you know, if you get to the veritable who's who of Nigeria, you know, you've got the Christian Association CAN, you got PFN, the Pentecostals, you got the Northern Elders Forum, you even got the Sultan of Sokoto, all kind of expressing concerns over what's, you know, can an election happen, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, but so my own question is this, you know, is it even worth it to try to have the elections when the people are not even sure whether it's going to be a fair elections, or, you know, like people in a community don't even know how it's going to be run, and then the government is just going to say, well, we're just going to send our people to come and do it, don't worry. we have
Yeah.
you. It's going to be okay, you know.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. I mean, who's going to help me make that decision? It's going to be the current government. So, is Buhari going to listen to half the population that's going to say no? It's we shouldn't be doing an election, or is he just going to plow ahead and say, yeah, let's do it, and then force the results onto the citizens of Nigeria, but then also force it on the West?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's one of these things where the fears are relatively it's real. These aren't something we can just throw away. So I think that the everyone's gearing up now. So it's also a, what do you call it, a chance for the opportunistic person to come in and say, yeah, I can help with this. I can do this, and it's going to be a money making thing. It's going to be a place where we don't have qualified people on the ground. All the run up to the primaries and the primaries to the election. It's going to be. I had a friend who did printing in Nigeria, and he said you'd think you'd make a lot of money off of these political campaigns, but you actually lose money because they don't come in with cash to buy posters and billboards. They often say, "I'll pay you tomorrow. Just get it up there today," and then that tomorrow never comes. So
Yeah. 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 Me, I'm even kind of, I'm just amazed by the resilience of some of the Nigerians with all of what is going on. They're they are just still functioning, just keep on going. They know that they just have to continue to make something of themselves. So I mean,
well, that's what
it's
I
just
mean. Elections
amazing.
are made for people to express their voice, right? It's a chance,
Yeah.
to be motivated on a particular campaign or platform, whatever the candidate is running on. But in Nigeria, it's a whole different thing. It's who's the lesser evil that you're going to vote for and why.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, it's that day. He's handing out $1,000 notes if you vote for him. Well, I'll take
Yeah.
that. I need that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I think it's going to be the run up to the election, the run up to the primaries when they actually choose. PDP chooses, APC chooses, is going to be huge. But then at the same time, it's not going to be a pretty scene. So
Yeah.
all right.
All right.
I got this next one here. Buhari doesn't know what's going on.
So this was a odd article for me to kind of look at, and it's just because of the picture that the newspaper used.
This is one I've seen before. This picture's hilarious. It's like, yeah, I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on. Just had dinner, so I'm good.
I just had some beef and stew, and yeah.
It's all good. Yeah, I mean, he's, the trouble is, I would not want to be president now, let alone just the whole problem of the economy and the fuel shortage, the tainted fuel, the inflation that's happening. You've got the continued persistent problem of the Boko Haram, ISWAP, Fulani militants. So
Snowball.
I don't think they have snowballs in Nigeria. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, for me, part of it is the fact that it's like we have been hearing a lot of different reports about how we have this under control. It's banditry, it's unknown gunmen, you know, it's Boko Haram, and then now it's like I have no idea what is happening. So sometimes some of these headlines, I don't know whether they are serious about
No,
like what the headline is, or they are just trying to be sarcastic about the fact that actually maybe the president has no idea about what is going on. Like yeah.
I think
So
it's. I mean, Nigeria. I love Nigerian newspapers. I mean, when like 99, 2000, I remember driving down it's a NASCO junction there. There's the table with all the newspapers, like every newspaper. I mean, it's not just 5 or 6 newspapers in Nigeria. It's 10, 20, if not more. And
Yeah.
Some of them are, a couple of pages. Some of them are volume, But so I
Hmm.
think it's Nigerians love to read, and I think putting out a catchy title or a crazy picture or whatever like that kind of captures something that you may not, the other paper doesn't have, so you'll get the people to read it. So, yeah, you're right. I think a lot of times these articles are there's not a lot of research; it's a lot of fluff. But there's with everything, there's some truth in there. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, so you
And
got Coyote Fayemi who's trying to contra whatever the current president's saying, and of course he's going to butt heads with him, and so I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens with people.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there is the first quote up there that I was kind of like what Buhari said at the second paragraph up on top. We have the land, we have the resources, and we have the people. I do not know why people will allow themselves to be successfully subverted to destabilize their own country.
Yeah.
And this was what he said during the break of Ramadan fasting on Wednesday. And this is probably where the quote was gotten from. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I, to me, I think that what is happening in Nigeria is too real for anyone to say that they have no idea what is going on, whether they're joking about it or not, because it's real for other people, like
Yeah.
it's, you know, the people that are being affected know that it's real, so it can just be, I don't know, just
Yeah.
disregarding of them.
I mean, it's not the fact that he's clueless. He's just, I don't know if he just wants to turn a blind eye or not address certain things. But these are huge problems. As we talked about the election, how you can do an election where the country isn't secure, when farmers can't go out in the morning to their farmland, get the
Exactly.
ground ready, plant the seed. We were talking earlier this week and all today. It's raining now. It's the time to start to get ready
Plant.
for farming. Yeah, and if you
Yeah.
can't go out there safely, or even if you can, what's the guarantee you're even going to get any sort of crops to grow? One, you may be attacked or stopped, or maybe you're hearing stories where they're going out and cutting down the crops mid season. They're cutting
Yeah.
down things and not letting them grow to full potential. So I don't think, yeah, to not have an election. That's the devil's advocate, to not have an election, to say state of emergency like in Kaduna, or state of emergency in the country, of the entire country. What is that going to bring? That means Buhari remains in power.
Yeah.
Or this, if you hear something long enough and from numerous sources, there's got to be some truth in it. I'm not saying this. I've heard it by
Yeah.
others, but there could be military saying we're tired of this. We're going to step up and we're going to come back and take over power. And Buhari's gone. And there's no election.
Yeah.
I'm not going
Yeah.
to say the word, but I think there's definitely some truth to that. There's something, are something's happening, and
Yeah.
first off, something needs to happen. But if not, something's going to happen. I
Yeah.
can't say either which way it's going to go.
Yeah. I Justin, and this is like my own opinion. I just feel that something needs to be done about the massive amount of loss of life. It's, you know, it's when you start to look up, look at the charts, and some of the let me even see if I can pull it up for you. The silent slaughter
Bring it up if you
factor.
can. I'm just
Yeah.
take
Let
another
me
drink
just
of
see.
my kale, blueberry, apple shake. Whew, it's bitter, but it's good. If I get anything in my teeth, you'll see it. Yeah, I think even AG, even having numbers and statistics, it doesn't change people. I mean,
Yeah.
Biden called the situation in Ukraine a genocide, and it was barely up to, I don't know, 10, 20,000 people that were being killed.
Yeah.
And for him to say that it's pretty, it sets a precedent, because we've had a lot more
Yeah.
people die in Nigeria. We believe there's over 350,000 have died since 2009, if not earlier,
Yeah.
based on all these killings and attacks from Northeast Boko Haram to northwest with Ansaru and Fulani militants as posing as bandits, and down to the middle belt as Fulani militants. And then even the state actors, the Nigerian government security forces are killing Igbos down the south and attacking others. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we have a multifaceted, tangled web in Nigeria.
Yeah. This right here that we're showing you is what we call the silent slaughter tracker. And as you know, if you have been following Icon on
I have.
Twitter
I'm
at
following Icon.
Icon Help One, which is our Twitter handle, and you can see it there below on the screen. Um, we have been tracking the abductions and the amount of deaths every day that have been happening in Nigeria, trying to get as much confirmation as we can to put it up at the Silent Slaughter website that you can access from the iconhelp.org website to let you know how these numbers are adding up. So you have a lot of these killings that are happening month after month after month. And, definitely you would also hear about how these killings didn't just start today. It
No.
wasn't just last month. You can go back month after month after month, like it's there. You know, you know, people being abducted, and it is not even getting enough press, enough attention. You know, can you say that it has been easing up? It has been getting better. Like we read the articles and we hear, about how money is coming in, and the security is being beefed up. But is it becoming better? Because every number here represents a life that was just taken. you
Well,
know
not just that. I mean, it's listing kidnappings. It's listing injuries as well. So, I mean, we've got the situation. I mean, anyone who's serious about Nigeria knows that the statistics are terrible. I just had a webinar or Zoom conference, whatever it was, meeting, and they were talking about different things, specifically watch lists, like this on the gender equivalency or the environmental impact, and
yeah.
a watch list on injure, another watch list on mass killings, potential for escalation and stuff like that. And I think that's the numbers that they're being fed, the numbers that they're using for their sources, the authors of these watch lists are getting the information from sources that do their best, try their best, but it's not as exhaustive. We've got the Silent Slaughter website,
Mhm.
silentslaughternigeria.com, right? And
Yeah.
we've tried to go deeper into those statistics, because you can only go so far unless you have people willing to go deeper and find out, okay, yesterday's attack that we reported 4 died is actually 8 died, and we're going to update that. Instead of 10 injured, it's 30 injured. Instead of 4 houses, it's 20 houses. So,
Mhm.
but no one's reporting these kind of things. So I think it's all
Yeah.
about finding the truth and keeping it going. But even, what are statistics gonna do?
Yeah.
Obviously it's not, are the right people listening? Are we
Yeah.
saying the right things? It's just like, I
Yeah.
don't know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
scare someone into submission, but it's hard to get people to get to the point of understanding what these mean. You said these are lives. This is a family being decimated. The father, the mother are lost, and now there's no income that's going to be able
Yeah.
to come in. There's the children are unable to go to school. But as much as we try to put a face to the names, it's people just lack the will to see. AJ.
And that is why Kyle and I are here on Extra News. You can use every week talking about the headlines and trying to get you involved, trying to let you know how you can engage and you can speak up for the people in Nigeria. I think the world coming together for Ukraine shows us that we can come together for anybody. So just a little a little attention to Nigeria. Just ask some of the questions that we're trying to raise here with Kyle too, and let's bring an end to the mass slaughter.
Yeah.
All right, so what's our next
Oh, it's
news
there,
item?
man. So let me go up to the top here. I gotta click on it. We need to hire some new people because this guy who's doing the. Oh, it's me. This is about, and it's a continuation of the story. This comes from National Policy
Yeah,
Digest.org, the
yeah.
platform.
The platform.
Banditry, Nigeria's farmer's nightmare. I mean, again, we've concluded that it's not just bandits. It's these are Fulani militants. You know, without fail, without anything. It's when you go to negotiate with someone who's kidnapped your family member or child, it's usually through a Fulani that you're
Yeah,
negotiating with, and then when you hand off the money, there's Fulani involved. So they're the ones who are probably spearheading and leading the charge to this banditry, this kidnapping. But again, I'll just call it Fulani militants.
yeah. Let me even mention why this is so important. Um, for those of you that have been to Nigeria, and if you've ever been to Nigeria, as soon as you enter any car, you will see farmland everywhere. People planting corn, people planting yams, just from every town that you move to. That is how much people depend on this food to farm, you know, and
To
a
live.
huge to live.
Yep.
And a huge part of these attacks are cutting that line. People that they used to spend their whole entire year just preparing for their crop to grow it and then finally start to reap from it. That process has been stopped from them. A lot of huge communities that can't even do that anymore, and then as the hunger strikes, it just starts to spill into other issues, where children can't be protected or fed, women can't be protected or fed, you know, everyone is just trying to find other means of just survival. Um, and it's just sad, you know. Um, Even in the last article that we read, Buhari was talking about how blessed the land of Nigeria is. It has all of these resources that are available, and the people even know that, but they can't access it anymore.
Yeah. It's
You
not.
know,
It's not. It's the whole entire thing. I mean, we got to Nigeria in the late '90s, and you'd be able to drive down to Port Harcourt up to Maiduguri, and you would see based on what season it was what that region was growing. Like you go
yeah,
towards the north, there'd be watermelon stacked on the sides of the road. You go towards the south, there'd be yams, and then would get into gari or stuff like that. I mean, every region had its.
potatoes,
Yeah, middle belts.
tomatoes,
Every region
yams.
had its sort of specialty item, and people would use those to feed themselves, but also to put on a big truck and sell it, and then make some money and buy whatever they needed. Palm kernel oil. All this stuff that was. It's. But now with the not just the banditry, it's the whole fact of insecurity and not investment into agriculture. I mean,
Yeah,
banditry is making it impossible for people to go farming safely and securely. But
yeah,
you just don't have investment in agriculture. I mean, Buhari tried to reinvent the wheel, or not reinvent. He tried to restart the whole rice thing. Didn't he do the rice pyramids over Christmas or
yeah,
before Christmas? I mean, stacks and stacks of rice bags. Well, you're hearing reports that half of that rice wasn't even from Nigeria. It's from different places,
yeah,
maybe outside the country and whatever. So it's
yeah.
like you can only show a picture for so long, and the facts still remain that Nigeria's in trouble.
And there is so much trade between the north and the south because certain crops can't be grown in certain regions. So even just that trade of the crops is a huge source of income for a lot of the local farmers, a lot of the bigger people that are able to have the privilege of having bigger extended farms, that they could hire people to come and farm on and stuff to grow the tomatoes and a lot of the vegetables, probably in areas that have better access to water, and then send them up north. You know,
Yeah. I
but
want to show you this
yeah,
one. So I remember seeing this. I started seeing pictures. I'm like, are you kidding me? So Buhari started arranging these rice pyramids in Abuja to
hmm
show the world that, hey, we got rice quality here. We're gonna sell it. We're gonna make this. half those half those bags might not even be Nigerian rice. So
yeah,
be careful what you see.
yeah,
I,
yeah,
I just think it's the whole thing is that when they switched to oil, as this article said, they lost that sort of investment into agriculture. Instead of helping to develop could be
The farmers and
everything from, it
yeah,
doesn't have to be large scale. It could be just individual farms, and the ability to cultivate and to sell and market your own produce, or share outside of your state, from like middle belt tomatoes going down south,
yeah,
or you eat watermelon coming from the northeast down to Lagos, whatever. But we didn't have that. It wasn't promoted, and now with the Fulani militants coming in and destroying farms, destroying farmers, killing farmers, occupying farmland, where are we at? What are we doing? This
yeah,
is the whole thing where you've not only crippled it because of oil, but now you've worsened the situation with insecurity.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
I think it's one of these things where where's the future? If we're going to invest, I'm going to go to this one next year. If we're going to go into into security, what are we saying there too?
So this was a very interesting article. This one was, yeah, I pay attention to this because if you're watching, yeah, pay attention to this because these are some of the things that we really need to start to understand um, with some of the stuff that we read that is pretty interesting. Um, yeah, Kyle, I'll let you start and then I'll chime in.
I think, well, the whole entire thing it was, when the U.S. government back, was it 2016? I forget when it was, when Obama was president, and he didn't want to sell the Super Tucanos. Those are the ones with they have propellers, but it's a more of a stealthy flying thing. So there was reports coming out of Nigeria that the security forces will use those against Nigerians. So we don't want to sell that. We don't want to give these to Nigerian military because of that. Well, eventually, they improved or whatever. They convinced the U.S. government, Trump was president at the time, to release those, and they were released. Well, now this next one, these Super
Yeah,
12 attack helicopters, totaling almost $1 billion when it's all done. Not just the
yeah,
helicopters, but you need the equipment. That goes, and you need the security systems and the infrastructure to run those. So now those have been sold, and now they're coming to Nigeria. So one,
mhm.
where's that money coming from?
Yes, yes,
And two,
yes,
what's going to happen to these helicopters? There was even talk when those Super Tucanos came last year that I was getting reports from Northeast, from Adamawa, from Yobe, that they were using them against civilians.
yeah,
They would come in and think a big group of people, they didn't get the correct intel, and they would start firing, and it would turn out they're just innocent civilians.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
and
or maybe they're using them intentionally. Who knows?
yeah,
So
and there were like there have been articles that were written about innocent people that got within the crossfire of where they were trying to take out. So again, that is like a huge piece of it, as you were saying, like the right intelligence to make sure that they aren't getting like the wrong people there. And I think the first Super Tucanos were delivered based on this article in July 2021, which is I think in the fourth paragraph from up top.
yeah, but
What
but
I,
but it
what I'm
was
looking.
lifted. It was so in 2017. It says here Trump reversed the decision. So he
Yeah,
reversed it based on intel he was getting, or based on someone saying something that's okay. And then they were actually delivered in 2021. So here was there was pause on it. There was a hold, but now they're released. So I think again, this whole thing is what is happening. I mean, we're never really told in Nigeria what happens unless it's a good story for them, unless it helps their cause. If there's any, remember during the Gulf War, the 1 and 2, they would show the moment the bombs, the drones would fire on a place. They would make those live. They would show
yeah,
the something, and sometimes they would say, yeah, there was civilian loss. I mean, it wouldn't be pretty. It wouldn't be something they wanted to report on, but they would report. Do you expect the Nigerian government to report when they use a
yeah,
Super Tucano or a helicopter against its own
yeah,
civilians?
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't think so.
yeah, yeah. And I think like one of like the powerful things that I was reading in the article was where there was a analyst, Matthew Page, which is I think paragraph 5 there.
Yeah,
and what
Matthew T.
he
Page.
yeah, and which he was saying that even the sales of the arms have not really, brought to governments to or like has really fixed the security issue. So it's something to think about really what methods we are using to really curb the security issues that are in Nigeria and what can be done. Because are some of like the tribes or some of the people trying to talk with each other and have conversations and then just and be like, how can we figure this out? What needs to be done? Because if all of these weapons come in and they are being used, how are they being supervised to be used for what was set out? Like how does that happen? Even like even if one place sends you gives you all of these arms, do they have a responsibility for making sure that whatever agreement was made to how they would be used is going to be done
Yeah.
properly? you know
I mean, that's it too, right? The proper use of it is one thing, but then the simple fact of is this going to solve the problem, right? I mean,
hmm
we can throw all the weaponry you want at it, but is that going to stop it, or is that going to keep it from? Is that going to continue the problem, or is it going to stop it? And I don't think we have the full answer. We Nigeria, you can't just throw bombs at something. You've got to actually go into the ground and see why this is happening. I mean, they for years they would say, "Oh, Boko Haram started off as political thugs of this candidate, and when they got disenfranchised or disillusioned, they became radical against all forms of elitism, all forms of politicians, all forms of whatever that didn't fit in their religious belief, and then became entrenched in their religion, and then it became a way of life, and now it's gone on to be a super terrorist group, right?
hmm
So okay, then they said the same thing about bandits. Oh, these are just the reports come out. Oh, it's unemployed youth, the desert encroaching, so they can't farm. Well, you can keep making excuses of or whatever, but what are you doing to help that? What are you
yeah,
instead of the U.S. government sending $1 billion to help
to
with these?
empower. Yeah,
Yeah, why
yeah,
not? Where's the? I mean, oh yes, we're helping with the farmers. Well, let's see, are you helping all farmers? Because the reports we're getting out of the Middle Belt from Plateau State and Kaduna, there's no assistance coming from the government. There's no foreign assistance coming to help them.
yeah,
Houses being destroyed, crops being destroyed, churches being destroyed. So where's the assistance?
yeah, 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 yeah. So that is an article that
Well, I wanted to share this one too, but I
one
don't
you
think
could
I
check
can
out.
get that because this one is. Let me see if I can get this. There's one I just came across today that was not even funny. It was kind of well, I can't get to it. It's on the other screen. So I mean, but the thing is is America competing with other foreign governments, China, Russia,
hmm
because they at the same time are selling equipment, and the Nigerian government's buying equipment to outfit its military, so bullets to tanks to whatever, right? So I mean, what is the purpose of America's involvement in Nigeria? Is it to kickback for some people, those people providing the contracts, or is it a to stabilize the area or destabilize the area?
And I even think that that was addressed in that last article that you
Yeah,
just pulled up, because I, I think the writer was trying to draw people's attention to the fact that it's all about interest, there, and I think that should be like in paragraph 5 too.
yeah, it's right
So
there.
where let me see if I can pull it up here on my thing, where he kind of gave is it five something
Yeah,
SEALs will empower the Nigerian army forces to defeat jihadist groups and bandits, particularly in the north, boost the American economy and create jobs, reinforce diplomatic ties between the United States and Africa's most populous nation, and undercut great power competitors, including Russia, which also has struck a deal to sell attack helicopters to Nigeria. So I think sometimes these are some of the nooks, some of the little things that are happening that we kind of see from a distance, but we don't really pay much attention to how it all plays out. To which he was kind of mentioning that it like it doesn't really have the kind of effect that we are hoping to see when it comes
No.
down to, you know,
Yeah, and I think that's the
what it'll
big
do.
the larger picture is are we do we have the best interest in mind? That is the Nigerian citizens. You know,
Yeah,
we run forums all the time, weekly, if not every other week, where people are saying we need the international help. They don't know what they need, but they want international help because they've seen movies, they've heard of stories where people have come in and saved the day. Well, what
yeah,
exactly do you want? You know, when you say international help, be specific. What does that mean? Help
yeah,
us. You know, we've heard stories. We need trauma healing. People that have been traumatized by their parents, their family members getting killed. Do they need help with their farms to
yeah,
be productive, or
yeah,
do they need all these Fulani militants to be killed, these Boko Haram terrorists to be killed, these jihadists to be killed? I mean, those are specific things. You know, we've had one person even say in one of the groups say, identify your enemy. You know, once you identify your enemy, now you'll know what you want to do to stop that. You know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so these are some of just like the tough cookies that Kyle and I have been looking at, and we just kind of send to each other weekly as we continue to advocate for Nigeria, and just basically try to see how we can have better conversations with people about what is happening there and what people are going through. I do want to share this just a bit from our Twitter page from Fatima First Lady, Niger Go Beta #1, and she kind of brought up some some uh, some uh, some clips that we had from some of the stuff that our organization did with Bernard Henry Levy that I thought was just kind of interesting to mention. You know, uh, Bernard Henry Levy has always said that the evidence has always been there, but we just lack the will to actually just look at the evidence and say, hey, this is what is going on. You know, if you are looking at a conflict that has been over, 15 years, it's all there. Um, she Fatima here mentions that the problem is that the very people who have stood and watched the silent slaughter all of these years are the ones to decide the creation of the new state, and may not grant it until cleansing has um, ethno-religious cleansing has modified the demographics enough to suit their objective, whatever. So that is really important, I feel, because ni- over the killings that have been happening, no one has really paid attention to how those demographics are changing. If you have people within the north that have been displaced and they have left their land, then how are those demographics, or how are they going to do like a new census, for who is at what part of the country, or where what tribe is, and what has happened, and is that going to be like a standing is that going to be like a standing
Yeah, we didn't even get into
thing?
half that stuff. I mean, the whole electoral thing, the whole representation. You know, it's whether it's president, geopolitical zones, like who gets zoned what. It's not enshrined. It's not something that's in the Constitution or whatever. It's more of an understood thing. But the same way down to local politics. Which ethnic group is going to be the local government chairman? Which one is going to be your district head, your ward head? These things, it wasn't always there. I think before it became a lucrative position where you would get paid millions and millions of naira to be a local government chairman, to be a governor, to be a senator, to be a president. It was to serve the people. That should be the primary thing. There has to be things built into society, Nigerian society, that holds leaders accountable, and it's just not there. As much as the church, as much as maybe the other sort of institutions are trying to do it. It's not working. No one's listening.
But then, like, what I wanted to also add was the fact, like, you have a lot of these villagers that have always complained about how, as we were killed and we left our land, people came and occupied it.
Yep.
So, are they going to keep those districts, and still call them the same ones, and then do
I don't even
all
think
of the political,
that's not even part of the problem. If they occupied, they're not going to vote. Most of these militants aren't voting. If anything, as you said, the beginning was that they'll come in and take the ballot box away, or just replace it with whatever they're
yeah.
given. I mean, it's. I've joked about this. I'm not trying to be uh, flippant with it, but it's almost like the Wild West sometimes. You go to the situation. The Christians continue to say. I remember this many times. I've turned my left cheek. I've turned my right cheek. I have no more cheeks to use. So what do?
Yeah.
They rise up, and that's the youth are being not listened to. The youth are being uh, stomped down. So they're going to take matters into their own hands. It's
They need
happening.
they need jobs. They need opportunities.
But the jobs are there. I mean, that's a bad argument too. I'm not trying to argue with it, but I'm just saying farming and jobs are there, but it's not being equally opportunity, or whatever you want to say. The farms, you can't farm because it's not safe. They're doing it, but
Mhm.
it's not as safe. Other jobs, like if you're a Christian living up in Kano, can you go be a teacher or a policeman? Probably not.
Yeah.
Not as much as someone else. Same as down in, let's say, McCurdy. Can a Muslim down in McCurdy become a teacher or a politician? Well, it's
Yeah.
debatable. So
Yeah.
we've this ethno-religious tension continues because the government isn't doing enough to stop it. Again, it's not throwing money at it, but it's giving attention to it and addressing these problems for what they are,
Exactly.
not just burying them behind the scenes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
All right, man. That wraps up another week, I would say, of some of the Nigerian news.
what about the petition? We talk about that.
The
What are we doing?
petition,
What are you
yes.
doing on Tuesday, AJ?
I'm going to be online
Me too.
watching. Yeah, that's right. And we are going to be bringing you closer to what is happening in Abuja, with the petition that Icon has put together, and that a lot of you people in Nigeria have helped to sign, and around the world, to present to the American embassy and the UK embassy to just kind of share their diplomatic stance on what has been going on in Nigeria. And allowing all of us to be able to ask questions and just kind of see what we can do or what influence they have in kind of making the situation better. So we get to present the petition to the embassies, and we're so excited to share that process with you on Tuesday.
We're doing it
So
live, and we're going
we
to
are
have
doing
some
it live. Yep.
coverage from other sources, after the fact or in the fact, however you want to say it. But the goal isn't necessarily to deliver the petition, but it's what the petition is asking: is the foreign governments that are on Nigerian soil, UK, US, what are you doing to address the situation in Nigeria? What can you do? Will you listen to us, citizens of
That's right.
Nigeria? And so that's the goal, is to deliver the petition, but at the same time, ask, demand, whatever you want to say, for a meeting, a town hall, a forum at a later date where those voices, those interests can be heard.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
join us Tuesday.
Well,
Wow,
please join us.
it's gonna be like 3 a.m. It'll be like 4 a.m. Eastern time, but it'll be like
Yeah.
9 a.m. Nigeria time. But we'll be streaming. We may kind of delay it so we can show it to you, but we'll be streaming live for the first half hour, 45 minutes, and then maybe another 45 minutes for the next one, and then we'll put it together and repackage it as, so when those bright-eyed and bushy-tailed Americans are waking up, they'll be able to see it. Maybe not
Yeah.
live, because I'm sure anyone's getting up at 4 a.m. to witness it, but
Yeah.
it'd be great
But
if you
please,
did. But
please continue to follow Icon, get involved, tweet at us. Please let us know some of your thoughts. Send articles to us, just then tag us in them, and we will bring them up here. Anything that is of interest to you or is of concern, just let us know, and Kyle and I will kind of talk about it. Thank you so much for tuning in and being awesome. Again, this is Icon Extra News you can use. And Kyle and I have just been enjoying talking about some of the news articles that we read out of Nigeria weekly, and we have just started to just share some of our thoughts on just some of the things that we read, and we want to share some of those thoughts with you, and we want you to engage with us. So continue to join us, streaming every week at what is the time?
10 p.m. But
10
Nigeria
p.m.
time,
Nigerian time
5 p.m.
and
Eastern time.
5 p.m. Eastern and 4 p.m. Central. Sorry, we have to keep up with all of these different times just so that we can give the right time to you. But join us, tell your friends about it, and let's get talking. So thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to see you next week
Thank you.
and on Tuesday.
Yes.
Here you go.